Welcome to the first video I've ever posted on my channel, Alaska Life. My name is Molly and I lived in Alaska since 2008, and if you want advice on anything Alaska, I want to be your girl. Today's video, I'm going to focus on my top 10 favorite restaurants in Anchorage, and I can say that I have personally been to all of these restaurants several times. Some of these restaurants are family friendly, some are fine dining, some are somewhere in between, or best steaks or best seafood. We'll kind of hit it all, so you can feel confident that if you've got a short amount of time in Alaska, maybe you're planning the trip of a lifetime, or maybe you're new to Alaska or moving to Alaska, you should definitely hit up at least a few of these restaurants, and I don't think you'll be disappointed. If you look at other sites, you're gonna see some of the same restaurants in the top 10 just because they're so iconic and they're so good. So I definitely am gonna have a little crossover, and I don't think that's a problem. I think that that means that you should definitely hit these restaurants up. Another thing I want to be clear on is that when I number them from 1 to 10, I'm not saying number 1 is the best and number 10 is number 10. They're just all something that I think you should experience, and so based off of what you're looking for, you're gonna find what you want somewhere in this list. So without further ado, let's jump right in. There's no way you're gonna come to Anchorage, Alaska without somebody mentioning something about a pizzeria named Moose's Tooth. It is iconic. It looks like a hole in the wall. It doesn't look like a lot from the outside, but it's got a really nice, warm feeling on the inside. Very family friendly. Why is their pizza so good? Their crust is amazing. If you're gluten-free, their gluten-free crust is the best I've ever had. But I really think it comes down to their toppings and their unique flavor combinations. I don't know a single person who has gone to Moose's Tooth and created their own pizza, because their combinations that they create are so unique and so good. They also brew their own beer, and so their craft beer is amazing. They are also doing craft cocktails, craft sodas, and I've got 4 boys, so if mommy's feeling generous, it's a good day if they get a craft soda. Thing you should know about Moose's Tooth: they do not take reservations, and it's a very popular place. They do have a waiting area outside with a couple of fire pits, maybe 1 fire pit. No, it's 2 fire pits. And it's nice on a gorgeous day. Even in the winter, it can warm you up a little bit. There's a small waiting area inside. And the cool thing is that you can order a drink while you wait. If you're wanting to avoid a wait, my recommendation is to get there before 5 o'clock, like well before 5 o'clock. I would get there at 4. Otherwise, if you get there anywhere near 5 o'clock, even on a weekday, you're probably looking at a wait. They're open 7 days a week. This is one of my favorite places to go for special occasions like Mother's Day or my birthday. It's a very family-friendly place, and it's one of the more budget-friendly restaurants on the list, so don't miss it. Oh, I should say, number 10 is probably going to surprise you, so be sure to stick around for my last recommendation that you don't want to miss while you're in Anchorage, Alaska. Let's shift gears and jump to fine dining. You're looking for a great steak or burger in Anchorage? My recommendation, Club Paris. It's downtown. They take reservations. You do need to call them. They're open 7 days a week. It's a really nice, romantic, kind of dark, sexy atmosphere on the inside. Not family friendly. This would be a great date night option, and you won't regret it. It's been years since I've been there, but I remember it being absolutely fabulous. Right next door to Club Paris is another one of my favorite restaurants downtown, Ginger. This restaurant has an Asian flair. It's not quite as fine dining as Club Paris. It's not quite as spendy, but it does still have that romantic atmosphere. I wouldn't say it's family friendly, kid friendly. Definitely another one that would be good for a date night. Staying downtown, we're going to move on to Glacier Brewhouse. This is another one of those restaurants that's sure to be on every top 10 restaurant list, and it's for good reason. Tourists and locals alike love this place. It has such an extensive menu, so you can get anything you're really craving, whether it's a big salad, a pasta, a pizza, a nice entree like steak, or fresh fish. They've really got it all. And their kids menu is amazing. I remember my kids love this place because they have an appetizer, an entree, and a dessert that's included with the kids menu, and it's at a decent price. So I would say this is a family-friendly restaurant. I would definitely say you need reservations. You can do it online, and you want to do it well in advance. I'm talking the further in advance you can make a plan, do it. Don't be discouraged if you can't get a reservation for the time you want. They do hold some of their tables for walk-ins, and you could always just walk downtown while you wait. The atmosphere is really nice on the inside. It's a large restaurant. They've got a big fireplace in the center, and they've even got wood stove ovens where you can watch them putting their pizza in, putting the chicken in, and watch them cook. They're their own brewery, so they have amazing craft beer, and it's overall just a really fun atmosphere. Oh, also, I should say, there is a bar side that is first come, first serve. So you can have access to the full menu if you get lucky and nab one of those tables, and I've definitely done that a time or two. They're a popular spot for lunch and dinner, but also they're really good for brunch and breakfast on the weekends. You don't want to miss that. Speaking of breakfast, I would be absolutely remiss to not include Snow City Cafe. Again, this restaurant is downtown as well, and it is just one of those iconic restaurants. They've got a great gluten-free menu. They've got vegan options. They've got something truly for everybody, and they are only open for breakfast and lunch. Their menu is very extensive. There have been many times where I've gone there for breakfast, but I end up wanting to order a sandwich and lunch because it just looks so good. So they've got a little bit of something for everybody. Their kids menu is great. This is definitely one of those kid-friendly restaurants. That being said, it is very popular, very busy, especially during the tourist seasons in the summer and on the weekends. So I highly recommend getting reservations. If you can do that online. But again, if you can't get reservations, you could always put your name in and enjoy a nice walk downtown. It's right by the coastal trail. Do something like that until your name is called. My favorite thing to get there is the polar bear breakfast, but my dad, when he comes to visit, his favorite thing to get is heart attack on a plate. So use your own discretion. I'm so excited to share this next restaurant with you because I don't really know that it hits a lot of the touristy lists in terms of best restaurants. If you are coming to Alaska and you expect fresh fish, well, you should. And to me, nothing is fresher than sushi. I have tried many sushi restaurants all throughout Alaska, and none beat a restaurant kind of off the beaten path. It's moved locations a couple of times. This restaurant is called Sushi Sushi. Some people just call it Sushi Sushi. It doesn't look like much on the outside. It is outside of downtown, so you do have to drive a little bit. But once you get on the inside, they really did do a nice job with the atmosphere. There's a little bar. You don't necessarily need reservations for this restaurant, but if it's a busier time, you might give them a call. I think they do accept reservations over the phone. They are not open on Mondays, so don't make your plans to go there on Monday. I just absolutely love their sushi rolls, and as I am filming this, I am salivating thinking about it, and I want to go tell my husband that he needs to take me there after this because it's just so good. Oh, they've also been voted best sushi in Anchorage like many times. All right, moving on to more fine dining. Crow's Nest. I love this place. The atmosphere is absolutely amazing because it is the highest restaurant I know of anywhere near Anchorage. It's on, I believe it's the 20th floor, and it's inside the Hotel Captain Cook. So you take the elevator all the way up to the top, and you just have these stunning 360 views of Anchorage, Alaska. You can see the inlet, you can see downtown and beyond. It's just absolutely gorgeous. So Crow's Nest prides himself on having French and new American cuisine. I have never been disappointed. That being said, this is probably the spendiest restaurant on the list. So definitely wouldn't say this is family friendly. This is more date night, very special occasion sort of a restaurant. Fun fact. My husband and I started this tradition where after I deliver a baby, this is where he takes me. And so this has happened 3 times. And since I'm probably not having any more babies, we decided we need to come up with a new tradition of how we can get to the Crow's Nest, what excuse we can give ourselves for treating ourselves. And so we came up with it. Anytime one of us gets a job promotion, we go to the Crow's Nest. And so we've gotten to go once or twice because of that. So it's kind of special to have those fun little traditions. I highly recommend getting the tableside bananas Foster. It's quite the production. Also, here's a fun little fact. You can go to the bar side of the Crow's Nest without reservations and without eating a full meal and still get to enjoy the amazing views. So you could just order a drink and an appetizer and not spend a bajillion dollars, but still kind of have like a nice little romantic pre-evening, if you will. So I just mentioned reservations. You do want to make reservations, especially during the summer season with this place. They are not open on Sunday or Monday. So I know that's kind of strange. A lot of fine dining would be open on over the weekends, but they are not open on Sunday or Monday. So when you're making your plans, keep that in mind. Okay, so I just mentioned job promotions. I wanted to share with you that I am not getting paid to say any of this. These are all my personal opinions. This is the first video on my channel, and I just really want to help you guys out. Now, that being said, if you're finding this information valuable, what you can do to help me out, maybe I'll be able to get to Crow's Nest if I do well enough. You can like this video, subscribe, and definitely comment below to let me know what types of information you would like to see next. What videos do you want? What topics of Alaska are you interested in? Let me know and I'll try to make it happen. All right, we're almost near the end. We've got just a couple more to cover. Next, let me take you to 49th State Brewery. When I first moved to Alaska, this restaurant was known as Snow Goose, and the service and the food were not all that great, but the location and the views and the deck were amazing. So if you are looking for a place, it's a gorgeous day in Alaska and you want to be outside, this is the place to do it. Now, the downside to that is that everybody knows that they have an amazing deck and everybody wants to be there. You can make reservations. I highly recommend you make reservations to 49th State. They can serve large parties, so that is helpful. The atmosphere is really warm. They've got fireplaces on the inside. And like I said, gorgeous day, big deck outside. It's a lot of fun. Of course, they're their own brewery, so expect craft beer, craft soda. My kids love their craft soda. It's always a fun time. Their menu is very eclectic. They've got a little bit of everything, sure to please everybody in your crowd. So anything from, they have Asian inspired, kind of like teriyaki type bowls. Those are some of my favorites. They have salads. They have kind of your traditional pub type food. And then they have even some more fancier options if that's what you want. They've got great burgers. You really can't be disappointed with 49th State, and I think that's why it's so popular. They did such a good job when they took over Snow Goose, and it's just, man, that restaurant is slammed every time I go there. So let's jump from Moose's Tooth to Beartooth, and you may be wondering what is the difference. Well, the only difference is that they've got one side that has all the same pizzas as Moose's Tooth, not the whole entire menu, but the pizzas. And then the second side of the restaurant is more kind of Mexican inspired, and it's really, really good. So if you've been waiting for me to talk about Mexican food, Beartooth is your place to go. And on the note of that, you may be able to get into Beartooth faster than you could get into Moose's Tooth if you're wanting to get pizza. Beartooth also serves breakfast, so it's a great spot to get a brunch and some craft breakfast cocktails, etc. If you have the time, they also have a theater where they play movies that are a little bit outside of the normal movie theater. And so they're a little bit older, but you can order food and drinks while you watch a movie. So that's kind of a fun thing to do too. All right, well, we've made it. Here is my number 10. Again, that doesn't mean it's 10 on the list, but this is the last thing that I would suggest that you definitely try and experience at least once when you're in Anchorage, Alaska, and that is not actually a restaurant at all. It's a hot dog stand. Our Reindeer Dog Stands. We're well known for them. They're going to be trickled throughout downtown. You're going to see several of them. I'm sorry, but I don't have one in particular that I can recommend. I do think that the owners and the owners of the different carts change from time to time. But what I would recommend is just find one where there's a long line, because that's always a good sign, and where they're grilling something, some vegetables, some onions, and some peppers and things as well, because that really makes the reindeer dog stand out. Okay, so you may be freaking out a little bit, like, how am I really eating Rudolph? No, you're eating like 2% Rudolph. It's mostly pork. That's what most of these reindeers are, and it's like 2% caribou. But they're really delicious. It's kind of one of those things that you just want to experience, especially if it's a nice day and you're walking downtown. It's an affordable lunch to grab. It's great for the kids, and it's just kind of a fun thing to say that you had a reindeer dog while you were in Alaska. So I hope you find this information helpful. If you have any questions, please comment. I will try and get to your questions and answer them as honestly and as best as I can. And most importantly, please like and subscribe. I plan on posting videos weekly with different topics, and I definitely want to take into account what you want to see. What questions do you have? And I will give you my advice as a local. See you in the next one.